Very good morning to everyone. This is Alok Nath, Innovation Manager of Manage CAA. We are going to commence our 117th webinar for Manage Saturday webinar series, which has been continuously conducting from past 2 years. The core objective of this webinar series is to impact knowledge and share effective information with startups to redefine their entrepreneurial journey. The webinar series is conducted under National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management called Manage, an autonomous institute under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, apex body for agriculture extension located at Hyderabad. Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship is an agribusiness incubation unit operating at Manage Hyderabad. It is one of the leading agribusiness incubator across the country. Manage CAA is committed and dedicated for converting agribusiness ideas into reality, nurturing, supporting, developing, and accelerating agripreneurs and agri startups to achieve their agripreneurial goals and to establish and emerge as an independent enterprises. Manage CAA has mentored 503 startups, incubated 346 startups, and supported 106 startups with a grant in aid fund. As you are aware, topic for today is e-market to connect farmers, value chain linkages, importance of e-market, how it benefiting the farmer and the consumer, scope and opportunity in e-market sector, supply chain, value chain linkages, etc. will be discussed in detail today. The two eminent speakers have joined with us to impart knowledge and discuss about the topic today. So wholeheartedly, I welcome today's speaker, Mrs. Pragati Gokhale and Krishna Kumar to manage Saturday webinar series. And with greater pleasure, I welcome each and every participant to the webinar. Wishing you all a fruitful learning today. So Mr. Praveen H.J., the Finance Manager of Manage CA, will be moderating the session. So without wasting any time, let us raise the curtain and we will begin the session. So we'll go with the first speaker, Pragati Gokhale. So Mr. Pragati Gokhale is the founder of Market Mirchi. She is also a founder and mentor for Mission for Mera Mobile, Mera Marketing. He worked as an advisor at Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission and Department of Science and Technology, DST. Mrs. Pragati is a retired principal scientist at Ministry of MSME, Government of India. She is an expert in e-market platform, supporting many farmers with her initiative and passion. So I welcome you, ma'am, and kindly request you to take up the forum. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Alok Nathji.
Yeah, thank you,
And
ma'am.
good morning, very good morning to all participants. And I also take this opportunity to wish you Happy New Year in advance. So, what is our mission? Mera Mobile, Mera Marketing via Market Mirchi. It is one of the unique e-marketing initiative at this date in India, which is benefiting many farmers, APOs, self-help groups, and agro startups to do their free online marketing. Free means absolutely free, no hidden charges. So how we work? Mission Mera Mobile. Actually, I have founded Market Mirchi because I am myself a IT professional, and in my previous job, found the problem. Actually, the problem came to me. So it is a demand-driven solution that many farmers and FPOs and SHGs, rural entrepreneurs, we were trying to build in my old job as a principal scientist in MSME. All of them were asking me for the market. All of them were facing the same problem, and they were asking, why not you provide us big shops in big cities? So as a solution, that previous job, I was also head technology transfer. So in Pan India, we disseminated Market Mirchi because our ministry also said that it is a very good solution, and it went on like this. In 2018, I retired, and after that, during Corona resilience meeting, DST and IIT Rural Technology Action Group found this Market Mirchi very effective, and now it is running as a IIT RUTAC project. So under our mission Mera Mobile, Mera Marketing, we are focusing on three pillars. First is, of course, our platform Market Mirchi, which is a mobile-friendly portal as well as app available on Google Play Store only for Android phones, not for iOS, because most of the users are on Android. So how Market Mirchi works? Market Mirchi, you have to download the app or you have to use marketmirchi.com. It is of course multilingual. You can change the language. We have three main sections: sale, buy, and jobs. Sale and buy have total 26 categories, including grains, pulses, vegetables, agro processing, high-tech agri, even agro consultancy, rural products, animal husbandry. National Bamboo Mission has introduced bamboo forestry herbal in it. Biomass Mission has introduced biomass, biowaste category in it. Dairy category is there. So total 26 categories, all pertaining to agro and rural sector, we have in sale and buy section. And under those categories, of course, many subcategories. In job section, we have only rural and agro jobs, because मार्केट मिर्ची पूरा ग्रामीण इंडिया को समर्पित पोर्टल है. So only agriculture and rural related every sales, buy and jobs we look after. So the why it is so popular is it is very easy to use for any means not so learned farmer or all. What we do, once they post ad, we and they have to just click on the post free sales ad. We show them the category, this total 26 categories to select from. If a farmer is selling vegetables, he will obviously click on the vegetable. If he is a agro startup, he can select the category agro processing or high tech agri, whatever the case may be. After that, he has to select a subcategory, give heading, give details, give price of the product or service he is selling, select a unit, and at the end there are two buttons where is new user registration and old user login. When you are posting your ad for the first time, obviously you have to click on the new user registration. Next onwards, you have to use old user login. In new user registration also, we don't ask people to fill lamba forms. Again, the reason is very simple, that the farmers and rural entrepreneurs should be able to use it effectively. They just have to put their name in short, address in short, and email is not mandatory. Mobile number, 10-digit mobile number is mandatory, and which will be used as their username. A simple password, no captcha and baki sara difficulties. They can put a simple password as 123, confirm the password, and as soon as they click on post ad after filling their registration form, they are immediately shown the call list of the buyers. Suppose he has posted an ad for vegetables, he will get a call list of buyers for the vegetables. He has posted for subcategory onion, he will get call list of buyers for onion. In call list, there are call buttons in front of every buyer, and as soon as he click on the call button, he will be shown in a red color the contact number of the buyer along with the phone icon. Also, the message buyers active rank is also displayed in the call list. Active rank is our USP. Active rank, because why we have chosen this, that I will also explain, because as I have already told you that it is absolutely free platform. So for ranking the buyers and sellers in the active list, we are not charging any money. For priority showing, we are not charging any money. But we show active sellers and active buyers in the high priority listing with their separate links. So active rank, once we show you the list of buyers, you have to call obviously with the buyers having higher active rank, which indicates that they are profusely procuring on Market Mirchi. Similarly, when buyers post their ad for sale, buyers post their wanted ads, which even Big Basket is using it for procuring onion, potato, tomato. Buyers are shown the relevant list of sellers depending on the category under which they post ad. And again, the sellers, buyers will be shown the sellers call numbers, all sellers call numbers, latest first, and with their active ranks. So this way, with a single registration, you can post multiple ads for sale, multiple ads for buying, and even your biodatas, and even if you are a company, you can post your job ads. And all this is without spending a money. As soon as buyer or seller takes interest in your ad, you are getting a SMS and WhatsApp Also, the link which you will get after posting your first ad or after posting your sales or buy ad, you will get a link of the call list of the buyers and sellers on your WhatsApp and SMS also. So it is very, very easy to use, and our tagline is within 2 minutes you should be able to post your ad, and within 5 minutes you should be able to make your absolutely free market linkages in all those 26 categories. So this is the first part of our mission, our very, very user-friendly platform, Market Mirchi, which is app as well as website. Second is backend linkages or capacity building training programs. But because app is very easy, very next, because I have explained, I think, mission and vision. Next. Background also I have explained. Next. First core component also I have explained how Market Mirchi work. Second core component is creation of backend linkages. So app is very easy, लेकिन दूर गांव कोने में जो मेरा किसान रहता है या जो मेरा SHG रहता है, it should reach them, it should teach them, because now in villages also we find at least one smartphone in one family. So taking advantage of this digital empowerment of rural India, we are conducting lots of trainings with NABARD, with NRLM, with Reliance Foundation, with Bayer, and so many ICR institutions, KVKs, where we are actually either through online or through offline trainings, we are teaching these rural entrepreneurs to use Market Mirchi, post their ads, and get market linkages. And IIT Rohtak has developed videos in all major Indian languages on how to use Market Mirchi to increase active rank, to get buyers. Everything is well explained in those videos, and those videos are available on Market Mirchi YouTube channel, which I have shared with Manage also for wider dissemination. So this is our second core component. Recently, Coal India has given a project to IIT Rohtak for dissemination of Market Mirchi, for training of Market Mirchi in 60 aspirational districts or in 60 districts where Coal India works. So accordingly, we have conducted a training drives in Jharkhand, in Chhattisgarh, in Odisha, and next is expected in West Bengal. So the response for those training was tremendous, because I was not expecting those ladies from Mahila Kisan Sashaktikarn program and all, very low literacy level, coming all with small kids and pallos, but they have done a miracle. After my training in Jharkhand, the ladies there, the women farmers there were able to fetch a rate for sarso, mustard, 5,000 rupees per ton higher than what they were getting in Jharkhand. They used Market Mirchi, they got buyers and from Gujarat, and they were able to do the deal. So this is the second core component. And the third core component is very important, because I already told you that as soon as sellers post their ad, we show them buyers, and for buyers we show seller. So how we achieve it? Because it was a very difficult thing, like chicken egg problem it was. Murgi पहले के अंडा. जब तक sellers नहीं थे, buyers नहीं थे, but जब तक buyers नहीं थे, sellers नहीं थे. But with our continuous efforts and with the profuse use of technology, like we are using data mining, we are using artificial intelligence, deep learning, and through this we are able to fetch many buyers on Market Mirchi. So now there are more buyers on Market Mirchi than sellers. That way also we can say, or it is a win-win situation for both. So this is a third core component, and these are the some of the photographs of our portal. Next. This is how the ads are shown. And it is not only useful for farmers and FPOs, it is very useful for agro startups also, because there are many categories under which agro startups can use, like high-tech agri, agro processing. This is a simple form which they have to fill while posting the ad. What is the outcome? Outcome is obvious. We are achieving digital literacy for rural entrepreneurs, farmers, effective online market presence for rural produce, agro produce. That way we are reducing the value chain, and that is why our tagline is अपने मोबाइल से अपनी marketing, marketmirchi.com, click करो link. I think I am very well within a time, because generally during our trainings we show the video which very clearly explains how you can use Market Mirchi and how you can get better market linkages. So, how much time?
Madam, we have shared the link of your YouTube videos that you shared, how to use them. Those links we have shared in the chat box. And we are going to share the PPT along with these video links to the email of all the participants.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So, I think I am done. But if any thing remain from my side, I can explain. What if you expect something from? If you expect something from me based on my experience, I can explain.
Yes, madam. During Q&A sessions, definitely we will have the discussion. I have noted down few questions on behalf of participants, and even participants will be given opportunity to directly ask questions to you. So we will take up those details at that time.
Okay.
Now we can have the next speaker. Alok, please introduce our next speaker of the day. Okay, I think Alok is having some technical issues from his end. So I'll introduce the next speaker of the day.
Sorry for that. There is a technical glitch from my side. Extremely sorry for that. So thank you for the wonderful presentation. So we'll quickly move to the second speaker. So today our second speaker for the day is Mr. Krishna Kumar Panoda, founder of Transcity Digital Solution Private Limited, a startup working on addressing the challenges in supply chain through this digital platform. He has more than 2 decades of international experience in technology management roles and has earlier worked with organizations such as TCS and Cognizant India, US, Europe, and Middle East. His experience spans several industries domains such as agriculture, retail, education, consumer goods, logistics, insurance, and healthcare. Mr. Krishna has an MBA from a very reputed institute, IIM Ahmedabad, and an ME from PSG College of Technology, Coimbatore. So I welcome you, sir, and the floor is all yours. You can now take up. And extremely sorry for the technical glitch. Yes, please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much to the entire Manage team for giving me this opportunity and to present on this a very valuable forum. And I am really honored to get an opportunity to share the session with a knowledgeable person, Mrs. Gokhale. And I have learned a lot from her session, and I also look forward to interacting further and leveraging their platform as well. So at Transcity, I just to set the context, I'm audible, right? Everything is clear. My screen is visible. Just a quick confirmation.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, great. So the session today basically is about how farmers can get into the value chain linkages, right? And by leveraging e-markets, that's the goal. But before, for anything that we are planning to do, what I would look at it is what is the objective of, the value linkages? Why do you want to get into the value linkages? And we all know the answer. The fundamental objective is to help the farmer in increasing their earnings. The earnings for the farmer has to increase because most of them do not have enough opportunity. So that way, in a way, market linkages can definitely support in that context. But in the way, if I look at it a slightly different way, what we feel is that e-markets alone may not be sufficient. It can help them in getting a little bit more visibility, probably getting them, instead of having some local buyers, you may be able to get along with, a lot more buyers across the country. You'll get that visibility. But eventually, the kind of increase you may see may not be sufficient or significant, and it may or may not happen for everybody because there are several other things. And why do I say so? If you look at, when we talk about the value chain concept, right? The value chain, we use different terms, whether it's like farm to fork, farm to table, different terms are used. And we all know that the value is always higher towards the fag end of the chain. And when it is a fag end, it is ultimately the consumer, maybe, right? So if you take a potato value chain, we all know that the highest value is at the potato chips. Or maybe if you take a tomato, any example, if you take, or if you just take millets, the value at the farm gate or just the raw millets is at a certain level. When you actually go all the way down to the in the value chain or up the value chain, you will find the value much higher. So, I mean, fundamentally, what I personally believe is that unless we can enable the farmer to move up the value chain and then go higher, they will see some increases, but may not be again still significant. So we all have to probably aim on how we can really move them up in the value chain, right? But again, farmers is, this can be done probably by large farmers. We see a lot of stories and a lot of success stories also by large, more probably, educated farmers. They're all doing a lot of these things. But when you look at the small and marginal farmers, that's where, and most of our target audience is that, because 80% or 90% of the country is, mostly about these people, and all the efforts that are being done are about that people. So how do we really get them into this kind of value chain, right? Like, we personally believe that, like if you take the FPO, that the FPO structure is very, very important and critical to enable the farmers to actually get into that value chain journey. Okay. And FPOs, which is also a very, very important policy of the government, right? And we all know there are so many FPOs that are getting formed, and there's a mandate to form another 10,000 in the next few years. So the strengthening is happening, and we also believe that we have to really put in a lot more efforts, and whatever we are doing is to strengthen this FPO structure so that they can in turn enable the farmers to move up in the value chain. So to cut it, put it in very simple terms, our belief at Transit is, to see how we can transform these FPOs into sustainable agribusinesses, because ultimately, if you can really enable them in this kind of an approach, they will in turn be able to generate the value for their farmer members. But again, it's a well-known point that almost 80% of these FPOs are not able to sustain. Right? I mean, we probably have only about 20% are actually be able to do some kind of operations. Either it's on the input side, probably something on the output side. But the overall, again, the numbers may vary a little bit here and there, but more or less in that, 75 to 80% of the FPOs that are getting formed are not able to sustain. And if we dig a little more deeper on why they are not able to sustain, right? They have very simple problems, like they're not able to have the efficiency that is required for running their organization. So maybe they're actually getting their members on board. That's the first step that is done. So they're able to go across the villages and then actually form the membership. But then once that organization forms, you have to really work like an organization, right? Where operational efficiency will be important. Like I talked about the value addition, that is the kind of activity has to be done. And getting plugged into the marketing and supply chain, which is the whole concept of that, value chain linkages we're talking about, how the FPO can get into that. So these are the three fundamental challenges that we have seen through our work that FPOs are facing. And that is how do they actually really be able to overcome that, right? Then it requires a lot of mindset change. And we call that as getting thinking and acting like an agribusiness, because most of the times FPOs get formed and because there's a government policy, maybe there's a kind of a support system for a 3-year period, and then it is more or less left over there. But actually thinking and acting like an agribusiness is the mindset change that is required in the FPOs, and we have seen that, wherever those 10-20% FPOs are actually sustaining, that is because of that. They're actually looking at it like a business and able to think and act like a business. The next point is leveraging and implementing technology. Okay, so like the platforms that we just saw about, or any other platform, there are so many other platforms, and we also have some platforms. We'll talk about that. But actually, leveraging technology for their operational efficiency, for their organizational activities is going to be very, very important if they really need to become sustainable agribusinesses. So we actually tell that, before you actually start jumping in, because all of the time when we go and meet all these FPOs and NGOs, foundations, SHGs, everybody wants market. But we always tell them, before you go to the market, you should actually look at laying the foundation, and that laying the foundation takes time, because in fact we have also seen order comes at sometimes we were able to generate orders for them, but then at that time they were not able to fulfill, primarily because the internal structure of the FPO is still not ready, that I suddenly get a 20-ton order or a 25-ton order. They are not even able to go to their farmer members and find out which member is actually growing what. That kind of a thing is missing. So we kind of encourage, or we actually look at it in a slightly different way, that you have to lay the foundation for these FPOs or any of the organizations which are in the rural structure to get yourself enabled into the value linkages. Now, how can they go about doing this, right? So the blueprint for these, for these organizations, some of the suggestions that we are kind of articulating here is that, and this is how we are also kind of working with, in the various states that we are working. Basically, first is, getting into some basic data management, because if you go to FPO, the very simple thing, if I ask an FPO saying that this season, how many farmers have sown which crop and how many acres? So at the end of the season, what is the kind of a volume of crop you will have? Unfortunately, many of them don't have an answer. They may say, yeah, we grow this, typically we grow that, but then if you need to fulfill a 50-ton order, right, when market is asking you, so you should have that kind of a basic data. So there are many other elements of the data, but capturing and maintaining data becomes very, very fundamentally important. And whether it is the farmer where they are located, to what is the kind of profile the farmer has, to what they are growing, to when the harvest is expected, what's the kind of volume of harvest that is going to be expected. So these are some fundamental things that FPOs should look at, getting into that mindset of capturing data. Number two, if you want to do an agribusiness like any other business, you first need to understand what is that the market is expecting. Typically, we always say, okay, this is what I have, you want to buy, but that's not how the world works, right? So especially when you are wanting to work with higher up in the value chain. So looking at market expectations, what is the market expectation? And I mean market, it need not be the end consumer. So even looking at working with an internet, like a larger buyer, maybe like in the earlier presentation there was a mention of big basket. So what are the kind of quality specifications a big basket expects? Because if you have to really go and start serving these organizations, I need to understand what is that they expect. So you have to do that. Then you have to have some basic infrastructure or some kind of a setup to aggregate the produce from these various farmers, because 1 ton, half a ton from one farmer, people are not relevant. Maybe a trader will probably buy. So you will probably have more options from a trader standpoint. But if you really have to work with these larger organizations so that you move up the value chain, it will become challenging. So when you are aggregating produce, you should also look at quality aspects, grading aspects, right? All those are some parameters that customers expect. So these are some fundamental ways, these FPOs should really look at. Then obviously there will be a capital requirement, because many times the buyers may not pay upfront, but the farmers expect the money to be paid upfront, right? So you have to probably pay at least a part, because the buyer will say, I'll let the produce come to my place, then I will assess it, I will see whether it's good, bad, etc. But the farmers are, they just need the money immediately. So if we really want to get something like this into an agribusiness mode, the FPO should also start planning their capital requirements. Obviously, there are so many facilities are available now through NABARD and all the other providers. So there is working capital, infrastructure capital, everything is being provided. So I think getting into some kind of a planning to understand what will be the capital requirements for the next year or 2 years, right? And then getting that capital into the organization so that they can do the activities is going to be important. Then actually do value addition. And when we mean value addition, it need not be like you have to convert everything, but even simple things of procuring and grading, procuring, and probably if you're into horticulture produce, cleaning and then packing and then giving it right? Or if it is like probably you're into millets, you have to actually segregate the good ones from the bad ones, and then probably the good ones you have to give it to a an institutional buyer. The probably the lower quality you have to sell it off locally. Or you may, as your own abilities improve, you can go into packaging. These are all things that can be done, but you can always start small with some basic value addition. So that is what will really help the organization to move up in the value chain. So that is another thing that we suggest. Now, the final one is about marketing. You have to actually go out and reach out, because for a buyer or for some of these guys who are higher up in the value chain, people are actually supplying to them in time, on the quality specification that they want. So if they really need to come to you, how do you ensure that you market about yourselves? You have to actually talk about how your produce is different, or what are the kind of things you are doing are different, so that you can really attract these kind of buyers into towards your organization. So when this is a high level suggestions that we talk about, and what how these FPOs can actually go up in the value chain, and then develop value linkages with institutional buyers. And fundamentally, for doing all this, which again ties to the earlier part I said, is to go digital. So without having digital tools, organizations still, many of the organizations still on probably paper, maybe at the max they put up data in an Excel sheet and here and there. But unless you use systems to really go digital, the ability to scale, you can do operations once in a while. But why is that probably if you just take a big basket example, why is that they're able to run an enterprise of probably thousands or tens of thousands of orders on a daily basis in every city? Because their ability to leverage technology. So we can start small, but the whole mindset is that, okay, let me adopt some digital technology so that I can run all these things in a very, very smooth manner. And that is where we come into picture. So talking about, I more or less focused on actually what should be done on the ground by these organizations. So on the next few slides, I'll just briefly introduce about what is that Transity and how can Transity support in such an endeavor. So we have a platform called FreshFlow, which is a digital agriculture platform that can make every element in the value chain digital. So when I mean every element, it is right from seeding all the way till delivery of the produce. Okay, it could be the produce, it can be the value-added product. You would have made it into cookies or something, and you would have got orders and then delivering. So this platform is an end-to-end integrated platform that can handle every element. And through this, the advantage is that it will facilitate the market linkages, because you lay the foundation, you aspire for the market linkages, and then you can scale and grow. That is how we look at how we will work as a partner with these organizations to help them in the value chain. So through this digital platform, we can digitize every element and then help them scale and grow. So the platform has various features, right from farmer management, crop management, right, inventory management, taking orders from customers. We provide an app that your customers can place orders. Entire invoicing, billing, can be handled. If you are making deliveries, it can be handled. You can integrate with other enterprise, like WhatsApp integration, Google Maps integration. Everything is inbuilt. Even if you want to integrate temperature sensors, GPS trackers, these are all there. Like I said, WhatsApp alerts will go, email alerts will go. It facilitates digital payments, so you can take payments online. Okay, so you can take when your customers are wanting to pay, you can actually pay it through the directly within the app itself. And this way, it generates a lot of data, and based on this data, these organizations, which are the FPOs, can actually analyze their own performance, and based on that performance, they can actually kind of refine their own approaches. So it basically puts them on a different pedestal. So they are in a position to really work as a modern enterprise. So the whole idea of us as a technology provider, this digital platform provider, is to give the necessary tools to these grassroots organizations. We use the word grassroots organization. I'm talking about FPOs, but it can be an SHG, it can be a rural entrepreneur, it can be a small micro entrepreneur in the village, anybody. But these organizations or entrepreneurs, unfortunately, they do not have access to good technology. And because of that, their ability to scale is kind of getting limited. So we are actually wanting to fill that gap, where we work with them, And not only by being a technology provider, but even helping them in the marketing, all the elements that I spoke about a little while ago. So helping them and understand what are the areas to do value addition. So we work in a very collaborative model with the government, the extension ecosystem, etc. So that way we are trying to become an end-to-end partner in their journey to become a sustainable agribusiness. That's our goal. So this is another view where right from produce, what's happening on the field. If you want to go to the field, even if somebody wants to do extension services, and then I can actually go to the field, take pictures, provide harvest forecasting models. All these are there: procurement, storage, selling, distributing, and analyze, so that the entire thing is seamless and end-to-end. They can handle everything. So the kind of different customer segments we work with, obviously the FPOs and foundations are one. I also mentioned about micro entrepreneurs, because FPO is also a structure, that's all. So it's not necessary that an FPO has to be there. Even if there's a village, and in that village maybe there are 50 farmers, and one of them or two of them are very enthusiastic, they can actually form a small group, and then all that they can do is just form a very soft business entity. So it is not necessary that only an FPO has to be there. So there are several micro entrepreneurs that are being trained by Manage. Okay, so there are so many programs that Manage kind of institutions are conducting. So many of these people can actually fill that role, and then they can become an entrepreneur in that village, and then they can do all the activities. So this is also a segment where our platform is relevant. We also work with some of the government institutions. Our platform, some of the modules are offered to them, for example, and different elements it has. Because it's a generic platform, we are mostly a generic platform which is covering the entire digital agriculture platform, and like e-markets and market enablement is one part. So I'm just trying to tell an overarching scenario of the organization. We also offer this platform to other agribusinesses. So they are smaller versions of a big basket. Many of the agri-tech startups are coming in, and they are working in NCR and probably Bangalore, and all these regions where they are working with farmers, and then they are supplying to consumers. So they use our platform to run their entire operation seamlessly. Even we have a logistics module which transporters in the space can also use. And eventually we want to benefit the farmer. We don't directly work with the farmer. We also want to enable the institutions that are working with the farmer, but the eventual beneficiary in the entire thing is like a farmer. So that's our end target customer. Now I'll just spend a little bit of time on how new young guys, there are so many young startups, young entrepreneurs which are coming in, and what are the opportunities that are there to fill in the value chain. Okay, because the value chain is very, very long. Okay, and it is requiring a transformation. Okay, so whatever was being provided by a regular trader, there were a series of traders providing. So the value chain has always been there. It is not that it is not there, but we're looking at how it can be transformed into modern ways, so that efficiency is improved, wastage is reduced, right? Value is not lost. That's the whole purpose. So in that context, there are several opportunities for entrepreneurs or other startups, and some of the ideas that we can just put out here is that you can provide. Some people can if they have have some kind of a background in agriculture, they can provide agri extension services in their vicinity. Some people can become provider of quality agri inputs, and inputs are, again, there are so many new inputs are coming. There are so many things that are coming on the bio formulations. So there are so many opportunities over there which are, and today, yeah, inputs are being available, but again, that many of them are spurious. Maybe the local dealers who are there, they are not in the with a good intention. So people with good intentions can actually take up a role of supplying quality inputs in the vicinity. Now, third one is advanced technology services, because there is so much coming in the agri-tech space. There are probably, I think, 2,000 startups or so, if I remember the number, working in the agri-tech space. And somebody's coming up with sensors, somebody's coming with drones, somebody's coming with very simple things like mulching paper, somebody may be coming up with some. All these are like high-end technologies that are coming in. So again, you can become a provider, a service provider of these services in your geography. So that could be a very simple way of getting into entrepreneurship. This is a third suggestion or idea that we wanted to say. And then enabling digital access. So it could be through giving platforms like what I was just talking about, or giving like the market Mirchi platform that ma'am was talking about. So you have to, and in your own vicinity, you can actually enable digital enablement, so that these guys can market their produce, okay, so that they can actually get hooked into the value chain. So you can be an enabler for these organizations, these local small and marginal farmers, to become an enabler to connect them to the market value chain, because they themselves are not, be able to, because anybody, whether it's our platform or any other platform, the reach will be very limited. That's where these entrepreneurs and startups can play a vital role in their geography. And finally, slightly higher on the activities is getting into some kind of microprocessing center. Like, maybe if you have tomatoes in that region, you make it into pulp. Maybe if you have milk, you probably make it ice creams. Maybe if you have some fruits, people are doing that. Like, there are several organizations, like even in Chhattisgarh, very remote places, for example, lychees and these kind of things come, they actually make it into frozen pulp and they supply to ice cream companies, and they're increasing the livelihoods of the tribal farmers. So there are plenty now of opportunities for youngsters and new entrepreneurs. So these people can look at some of these and create a small business model out of in their own area, in their own geography, and then probably implement some of this. And we as Transcity can definitely support in through our technology platform to any of these guys. So that's something which we can do. So thank you so much once again for giving me this opportunity. I thank the entire managed team, and to the audience for giving a patient listening. I wish you all a very happy new year, and my contact details are given over here, and I'm sure manage will also probably share, and I'll be happy to interact with any of you separately, and if anything support is required, I'll be happy to provide from my side. Appreciate all your time.
Yes, thank you, Krishna Kumar sir, for this wonderful presentation on the value chain in agriculture. And also, I thank Pragati madam for delivering the session on the market Mirchi. So now we will move to the next section where we are going to have a question answer discussion. So few participants has sent their questions in the chat box, and few have sent in our YouTube live streaming also. And I also have noted down few questions for both the speakers. So my first question is for Pragati madam. So in marketmirchi.com, how do the fraud detection can be done? Like if there are any person, okay, who wants to post his product related information and who wants to take up the customers, new customers. So is there any fraud prevention mechanism available in MarketMirchi? How validation is done, madam?
Actually, first here you have to understand that it is not a e-commerce end-to-end operating system. It is a e-marketing platform where we make buyers and sellers meet. Okay, like Trade India, India Mart, Quicker, or even for that matter, Matrimony. So here, what we do different from all of them is we are giving them absolutely free, all sellers, all buyers, all buyers, all sellers. If you download our app, you will see a very clear cut disclaimer that it is absolutely free, don't pay anybody, and also no hidden charges. And we are not there in between you. Between seller and buyer, there is nobody including us. So you have to take your own responsibility. That is a clear disclaimer is very clearly given. But still, it is around 9 years old now, and my mobile number is very prominently given at the home page for as a helpline number. But since last 9 years, I have not received a single complaint either from farmer, from APO, or for any rural entrepreneur or businessman that somebody has tried to cheat him. Though we are not taking a responsibility, if some complaint would have been come to us, we would have definitely blocked that ad, and something, some measures would we have already taken, would have been taken. But there is not a single complaint. And I am very proudly share this, that people are doing a business on Market Mirchi with very sincere things. What we do when the active rank of a seller or buyer increases, if a one single ad one is posting and not caring for calling buyers or sellers, we ignore. But if the active rank of seller or buyer increases, we call them and then we ask them about their experiences on using Market Mirchi and their success. We ask them to share their videos also for recording their success stories, and those videos are broadcasted by BBC News recently of the Market Mirchi active sellers as well as Market Mirchi active buyers.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the detailed answer. I hope
Because
Mr. Jitendra
I
Kumar.
thought that all the forthcoming questions should be covered in it.
Good, good, madam. Good enough. Yes. So now my next question is for Krishna Kumar sir. So one of the participant, Mr. Jitendra Kumar, has posted the question in YouTube. So he's asking whether Transity is offering any subscription basis services, and what are the process that is followed to onboard the new customer into your business.
Yeah, so yeah, great question. So we offer our service on subscription model. So there are multiple services. One, the platform can be taken on, just the platform can be taken on subscription. And or number two, we can also get involved in getting them help on the value linkage. So we have multiple services. So we'll be happy to connect with him offline, understand what their requirements are, and then get them onboarded onto the platform.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes. Next, we have few participants who have raised their hands. Mr. Rama Kosuru. Amit, please unmute Mr. Rama Kosuru.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Yeah, I am Rama Kosuru. Yeah, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Sir, I'm an IT turned professional agriculture, sir. Okay, so I have messaged my all the details. So basically, this village is a horticulture, like lot of greeny vegetables are grown, right from tomato, cabbage, cauliflower. So they are selling to local people. We have Machilipatnam, which is Krishna district headquarters. They go and sell it there, produce there, okay, to the middleman. Okay, so it's very. I really appreciate all you people that you are doing very great efforts to farmers. So I can play a big role. I think since I've studied in IIM Bangalore, so I can act as an enabler. So uh, so the biggest question with farmers is like they, with one hand they'll give the produce, with one hand they want the cash. If I tell that my villagers, I'm native of this village, Coast River Palun, there is a website. They can check my all the details. Okay, I'm ex-NRI USA. So the biggest problem is to convince these people. I'm not still able to form FPO. They're not giving their Xerox copy of the patta holder, farmers patta holder Xerox. So that the biggest problem is to convince them. And every year they are growing so many tomatoes, and we are throwing in the river. Krishna River is next to our village. We are on the banks of the Krishna River. So I'm ready to help them. I mean, like, but capex is the issue, because since I know the management terms, capex is the biggest problem. And I'm sorry to the if anybody is working for the government, I mean, it's very tough to work with government. Till now, nobody is serious about forming FPO. I mean, like, I am behind them, but they're not ready to do it. So these are the hurdles, sir. So maybe we can take this offline. Maybe so many other participants may have some questions, and we have to answer them. The panelists have to answer them. So I'll drop off, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, sir. With great
Yes,
respect.
I'll
thank
take a
you.
minute if you allow me to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think we can definitely connect offline, and my email ID is there. I mean, but one of the things that, see, waiting for an FPO, yes, that's an approach, but that need not be the only approach. So, like my last slide was mentioned, you are already highly qualified, and you have seen the world, and you know business, etc. So maybe look at it like, are there opportunities for you to get involved as an entrepreneur? Because you have the farmers, you can get into some of these value addition activities. You have the ability to invest some capital, right? So we can discuss. I mean, I'll be happy to discuss and see how we can collaborate. And or if you can leave your message, chat, your email ID, I can also contact you. But my email ID was given in the slide. So krishna@transity.co, and also again drop my contact details once more. But yeah, we'll be happy to discuss. So problems you're talking about are genuine problems, but that's where change makers, like yourself, can definitely add a lot of value.
Yes. Thank you. So next, we will take questions from the other participants who have raised their hands. Sivakumar SM has raised his hand. Please unmute Mr. Shivakumar. Yes, Mr. Shivakumar, you can ask question directly to the speakers.
Good morning, Mr. Krishna. See the first flow. Shall we use this for animal husbandry? That's my question to you.
Some parts definitely, especially on the commerce side, on the produce side, okay, where it is on the field activities, it will be a little different. But again, we'll be happy to discuss. We are definitely wanting to look into other sectors, how we can actually enable the animal husbandry related cultivation. I mean, cultivation is not the right word, but rearing activity, right? So that is something where it will be different. So we can definitely talk about that. But once you have, if apart from that, when there's a procurement to delivery value chain, right? You can continue. You can definitely use that.
Thank you.
I have a question for Pragati Madam. Madam, we have this electronic agriculture market, that is ENAM.
Yes.
So many of the farmers are started using this ENAM portal to sell their agriculture produce to the mandis. So there may be few common challenges in both the portals, Market Mirchi as well as ENAM. So as a founder of Market Mirchi, what are some of the challenges that you have come across, especially from the farmer side?
Actually, sir, Enam is different. Enam is a digital APMCs, right? And there, as far as I understand, there is end-to-end process. Market Mirchi is totally different, and it has one more angle which I was forgot to explain, is digital rural empowerment. That is why we call it as Mera Mobile, Mera Marketing, giving all the villagers, all the farmers a confidence that they can do their own marketing. They can procure market for themselves. While middleman means these new agro startups are also middleman. You have to understand it well. Nothing will be given to you in free. So you have to learn using your mobile to find your market. Just a question somebody asked prior to this session, that he is from village and he is very well educated and still he is not able to unite the farmers. My answer to him is APO बनाने की भी कोई जरूरत नहीं. Why you need APO like that? Transity sir, Krishna sir was is again and again training. We are using the same model for the herbal products marketing. We are having one project, Mera Mobile, Hamara Gav Hamara Marketing, where we are teaching tribal youths to collectivize the products and sell it, find the digital markets, negotiate with the buyers, bring the buyers to their home, their village, and sell the product. So these are two different things, Enam and Market Mirchi. Market Mirchi is an open buyer seller hub. We are having in mind digital empowerment of all agriculture and rural stakeholders, and we are giving them a market linkages. So the actually problem as such you are asking, challenges, frankly speaking, I did not face any challenge, because it is welcome everywhere I go. Just as an example, last week only I was in Trichanapalli as a project review expert for some DST project at NIT Trichanapalli. There I just contacted offhand few agriculture institutes like Banana Research Institute, then Agriculture Marketing Department, and all of them very Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. And apart from my official duty at NIT Trichy, I was able to conduct 4 sessions for the farmers, for the APOs, and they were very happy to learn, because again the language was a bottleneck for me in Tamil Nadu, but the video our IIT has developed in Tamil helped a lot. And now you will find many banana farmers and many ads in Tamil on Market Mirchi. And this was my first visit in Tamil Nadu. So I am not facing any challenge from farmer side or APO side or even from government side. All of them are willing and all of them are supporting to use Market Mirchi, and they are quite sure that it is only absolutely free solution which is giving them a market linkage.
Okay, thank you, madam. Madam, in this background, I just wanted to know the statistics of this marketmirchi.com.
Yes.
Like how many farmers are onboarded and how many of them are registered as sellers exclusively? That
Yes.
I just wanted to know.
Around, because the day and day it is growing now, so around 16,000 plus farmers, APOs, SHGs, and some agro startups are registered, and around 15,000 or 14,000, I'm not having exact figure now, buyers are there. And it is spread across pan India. So you will find the sellers from Dimapur, Nagaland to down south. And even for some from what should I say, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Even Nepal government has contacted me for developing something like Market Mirchi for them. Then I told them that why not you use Market Mirchi? It is for all. So it is absolutely open buyer seller hub.
Okay.
And
okay,
that is
good.
why that is why we have introduced that model, active rank. So those who are active are definitely getting market linkages on it. And
Okay,
with due
okay.
precaution, they have to observe, and which we teach them how they can go ahead with deals in our trainings.
Mhm. Okay. So we have a few more participants who have raised their hands. Bhaskar, you can ask the question directly to the speakers. Bhaskar, please unmute yourself and you can speak now.
Good morning, all. My question is for both Madam and Sir Kumar. See, what we are talking about is we are talking about the domestic market. How to approach an export market? That is where I think government is interested in. And I attended recently one ABDIA uh, um, uh, seminar where NABARD and DGFT, all these people participated, and they're willing to help us. But only we have to find the buyers. If we find the buyers, they're willing to help us in the entire process. But process looks very complicated, and the buyers in India are tough, and buyers from the other market also looks tough. How to streamline the whole thing? I mean, is there any way you people can help in exporting produce?
Just I will give my feedback because APEDA is taking all the responsibility for the export things. They are conducting seminars in every city, and they are also providing end-to-end support for the export. The only thing which you first said is correct. You have to find buyers, because APEDA will not find buyer for each and every export. So if you find buyers, you can find buyers like many digital platforms like Market Mirchi is of course free, but others also which are not free. And then you can go ahead with APEDA. APEDA gives all support for export.
Yes, sir. Krishna Kumar sir, your take on this.
Madam, my question, madam, it is very difficult to find an honest buyer in the export market. That is where the whole problem is. And FDI is definitely doesn't help on that particular fact. So how to arrive at a honest buyer in the export market is my next question. Anyway,
So that is why APEDA is formed, sir. APEDA takes the middle responsibility. That is why you have, if you are going for a agriculture export, you go better way through APEDA, which is a government agency.
Okay, thank you.
So my point is, again, it depends on where you are in your journey, right? So if, for example, you already have been buying and selling within India, then it is one thing you can now aspire. But if you have not aggregated within India and you have not sold and directly wanting to go to the exports, it will be challenging, because see, the value chain is very long, like I was mentioning. When you want to buy and sell locally, it's fine. But the moment you have to buy something in, let's say, Bangalore surrounding, and then ship it to, let's say, Mumbai buyer itself, is extremely challenging. There are so many uncertainties. We always tell middlemen are good and bad, but they are the ones who are taking the risk. So there are risks. So that is one step. So it depends on. I would not really advise anybody to go directly into the exports. If the promotions are there, everything is there, unless you know somebody over there. So ultimately, that's one part. So first is to get a handle on the aggregation and sales within the country. Number one. Now, number two, see, if you come to your pointed question was, how do I get buyers? So, but see, you can't ask somebody how to sell, because sell is, for example, I can't go anybody and ask how to sell, because I should know, I should figure out, either I should have my network or I should find my, contacts, etc. Because that is something nobody will be able to support, because we have to develop business we have to do our business development. Remaining things, support, technology, everything you'll get, but business development is the fundamental key for any organization, is the reality. So if you are having some exposure or you have some networks, that is the first step. See, we have also been constantly looking at this as a problem. Okay, so yeah, if your question is, can we help? No, we are not having that kind of a capacity. But yes, we are looking at it. We have some known people here and there. So trying to slowly look at it. Can they help us? Because you may not be able to really reach a direct buyer, but you can always find some kind of an importer somewhere who is willing to take the risk for you. So go step by step, minimize your risk, because, for example, you send one container load of something and it gets rejected. Okay, the value of that probably runs into 20-40 lakhs. And the international quality requirements is another challenge. Okay, so
Yes.
you send to some countries, don't even venture there without having a hold. In one day, we are kind of completely doomed. They'll reject the container and that's it. We can keep our shop closed, right? So keep that in mind. Exports are always yes, it looks very attractive. So that's where existing exports of the past 20-30 years, they built that. Okay, so we have to, if we have to take, if we are novice in that, we can only take baby steps in learning. There are a lot of risks in the whole in that part. So that's my take. I mean, it's might not be an answer that you like, but that's the reality.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So now we have arrived at the end of today's webinar. So I thank all the participants for attending 117th webinar hosted by Manage CIA, and also thank both the speakers for taking their time and delivering these insightful session, and also answering the questions posed by the participants. We have shared the contact details of both the speakers in the chat box, and we will also send email to all the participants who have attended today's webinar through email. The PPTs and the contact details and even the video links shared by Pragati Madam will be shared with all the participants. And we have posted the feedback form in the chat box. I request all the participants to give feedback on today's session. And you can also visit the official website of Manage CIA, where you'll get details of all the upcoming programs. You can click on the recent updates field in the Manage CIA website. You'll get the details there. And you can email us if you have any specific business idea related to agriculture and allied sectors. If you want to discuss, definitely you can send an email to us. We can arrange a one-on-one session with our experts and we'll take it forward. So the applications for the next batch, that is cohort 9, is open. So anybody who wants to take financial assistance from Government of India's RKVY-RAFTAAR project can apply for the cohort 9, and the link is active in our website. Once again, on behalf of Manage CIA, I thank both the speakers and also the participants and my fellow team members for coordinating and hosting this webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.